What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show podcast. This is, of course, an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I, of course, am your host, Jim Minton, Dickie Wabash. And today, one of those pit stops that we're going to be taking is to an oldie but a goodie. So, some recent developments have happened in the world of professional wrestling. A retirement that is sticking with me. A retirement that has truly changed the landscape of professional wrestling. We're never going to be the same since this man has retired. I'm, of course, talking about the Sandman. Listen, it's been a running thing across a lot of content that the Sandman is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And he is retired, and that's sad. Now, I'm not going to come on here and talk about his retirement match per se. If you want my thoughts on that, you can, of course, check out the Independent Wrestling Shootout. If you're hearing this on Patreon, then it's not out yet. If you're hearing this on Thursday when it goes live, well, then it's out yet. And you can check it out there. So seek that out, JTR Podcast Network. I will be on there with Mark Redman. I will be on there with Evan Red Velvet Moore. And we are going to talk about a multitude of things. But one thing we're going to touch on is that I'm going to give my thoughts on Sandman's final match, which, spoiler ski, I loved it. So I figured, with all that's going on in the world of MadBash, why not go into the archives and pull one of my favorite episodes of the podcast where we did an interview with Sandman. It was, of course, with the aforementioned Mark Rebman and Minders. We went on Bash the Rail, we call ourselves when we collaborate. Smart name, good name. But anyway, we went on there and we talked to the Sandman. And it was a fun interview. This happened in June of last year, and it's very apropos to do this because, hey, man just had his last match. Before we get into it, I got a couple of little things I want to get into here. One thing, and I think people think I'm joking, because it is a ludicrous thing to claim, that Sandman is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He's in my top 5. My favorite wrestler of all time is Ric Flair. Under him is Prince Devitt, Finn Balor. Under him is Chris Jericho. Under him is Stone Cold. And the number 5, rounding out the top 5, just missed the Mount Rushmore, is Sandman. And if you look at that list, boy, is it weird. But it's varied. And that's independent wrestling. That's professional wrestling. It's varied. It's a varied sport. Let's break it down. You got Balor and you got Jericho. They're your technical, really good wrestlers. I love it. Then you got Stone Cold, who's your character, your everyman. And then you've got Ric Flair, who's just the GOAT. Don't even need to explain why Ric Flair would be on a top 5 list. Not even going to do it. Sandman, huh? Why Sandman? One word. One simple word, and that's relatability. Sandman's relatable. You look at someone like Ric Flair, and this is why they are perfect. They are the two sides of the same coin. Ric Flair, in the aspect of, you got the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, Rolex wearing, I forget the thing. Son of a gun. That's what you want to be. You look at Ric Flair, he's the man, literally. He calls himself that. To be the man, you got to beat the man. I don't think Becky Lynch beat Ric Flair, but it's another point. Flair is what you aspire to be. Flair is what you look at. You see the Rolexes, you see the diamond ring, You see the 3-mile long limousine, the private jet, the Space Mountain, oldest ride, longest line, kissing every girl here and making them cry. Even that fat one. You see that. And that's what you want to be. That's what you aspire to be. So you look at him and you're like, yeah, that's cool. Then there's Hack. Then there's Sandman. One could argue you don't want to be Sandman. But one could then argue you are Sandman. He's relatable. Where Ric Flair has got the robe, Sandman has got the Zubaz. Where Ric Flair has got the Rolexes, Sandman's got the pack of cigarettes. Where Ric Flair has got the multiple shots that he's passing out at the bar, Sandman's got a 12-pack of beer at the ready. Where Ric Flair has got those alligators that he's having trouble keeping down, Sandman's just got a pair of Reeboks that he threw on when he walked out the door. I'll just show up and wear these. Ric Flair is the almost unattainable goal. Sandman, we don't need to attain anything. He's relatable. Ric Flair's relatable because of what we want to be. Sandman's relatable because he's what we want to be. But then I think, why did a 7-8-year-old Dickie Wabash like the Sandman? I don't know. I was drawn to him for some reason. Don't really know why. But then as I get older, that's when I find out, the relatability. Even though, I mean, granted, an 8-year-old wasn't relating to Sandman. I just liked him, okay? What turned into what some people view as a joke turned into one of my favorite moments in podcast history since I've been podcasting, and that was getting to interview the Sandman. So I'm going to share that with you here today. We're going to go back into the archives. As I stated, we're going to listen to the interview. We're going to do all that. Before we get into that, I just want to remind you, this is, of course, the Spot Show podcast. Each and every week, my friends and I, we get together and we talk about the wacky world of independent wrestling and everything in between. Listen, if you like what we're doing here, you can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Help keep the microphones on and the envelopes full. There for just starting at $5, less than a cup of coffee. Especially these days. Coffee's expensive. I think I've made this comment before. My order from Starbucks is $5.35 every time. Grande vanilla sweet cream cold brew. Thank you. No, I don't need a straw. Thank you. That's my order. Less than a cup of coffee a month. You can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. There you're going to find all of our shows early and ad-free. And you're also going to be supporting the definition of independent. But I get it. Sometimes you don't have the extra ducats that you can toss our way. That's completely fine. There are free ways that you can support us as well. Go to madbashstudios.com. That's your one-stop shop. There you'll find links to all of our social media. Go follow us and like us on Facebook. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to your favorite podcasting platform. Leave us a 5-star written review. Those go a long way. Hey, listen, someone commented on one of our shows not too long ago, and that was cool. I don't think we've ever had someone comment on a spot show on Spotify, but you can do it. And give us a 5-star review there while you're at it. Of course, go to the YouTube. We got the podcast episodes there too. Give those a like. Give us a comment. Let us know what you think, please. It helps us grow. Helps us beat that algorithm. God knows that algorithm, man. It's insane. So, if you are on the Patreon, you are not going to hear a word from our sponsors. If you are, I can't remember. I literally just lost in my head what I said. That's the beauty of a one-man show, man. I got no one to guide me. You're going to hear a little bit from our sponsors later. But for now, we are going to throw to one of my favorite, if not my favorite. This might be my favorite podcast I've ever done. Getting to interview one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I'm, of course, talking about the Sandman. Shout out to Mark Rebman and Mindy Elam from the JTR Podcast Network. You know them as Reb and Menders. They facilitated this whole thing. We made this happen, and hoo boy, was it a lot of fun. So we're going to go ahead and throw to past Reb, past Menders, and past Dickie, and one of the GOAT of GOATs, the Sandman, here on the Spot Show podcast.
All right, welcome to a special presentation from the Jumping the Rail podcast. This is Mark Rebman coming from the Noodles position in Champaign, Illinois, joined as always by my buddy Menders and Dickie Third Mike, Dickie Wabash from the MadBash Studios is joining us. We were going to have Michael Madrox with us, also the One-Legged Wonder, but he is unfortunately unavailable. But this is not your usual JTR. It's not going to be current wrestling, no news, nothing. It's just all talk here, and it's going to be a good one.
Yes.
So, Dickie, have you been able to survive today?
I'm here.
You are here.
So I survived for the most part.
Not sweaty, not overly overcome. I think we're good.
We'll save that for paid show.
All right. All right. Well, Dickie, why don't you do the honors and introduce our guest?
Oh, absolutely. To put it bluntly, I don't think this man requires an introduction. You know, former ECW heavyweight champion, 5-time ECW heavyweight champion, mind you, did my research on that one. Former ECW tag team champion, of course, with Too Cold Scorpio. And in my opinion, most importantly, the winner of the TNA Hard 10 tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardcore icon, the Sandman, is here. I already see him rolling his eyes, probably because of the TNA Hard 10 tournament.
Did I actually win that thing?
You did, yes. According to Wikipedia, you were the winner of the Hard 10 tournament.
Yeah, I don't even remember. What a debacle that was. No, it was so bad. And then they put me in charge of it. They let me freaking, I don't know, whoever said, because nobody knew what was going on, freaking. So then I think I booked the last couple matches, honestly. Like, I think, didn't New Jack might have had somebody in a prelim match, and I think I put that together or something.
I think it was you two in the finals, if I remember right. Yeah. That was so weird. It was like, what, 1 point? 1 point for a weapon hit, 5 points for going through a table. Just
remember.
The weirdest concept in the world.
You know, it's just they wanted to try something and nobody else did. You know what I'm saying? I can't fault them for that. Same thing as that 5-sided ring. You know what I mean? It's just different.
Yeah, it was definitely something different for sure.
Yo, so where's the one leg kicker dude at?
Oh, the one-legged wonder. He, my co-host, he sadly couldn't make it here tonight, but he sends his his best wishes. He's just as big a fan as I am. We talk about on our podcast. We have very fond memories of ECW. You know, all of it. So we have nothing but great things to say about that time period. So he does send his regards. Sorry he couldn't be here.
I was kidding.
All right, do I get the first question? Can I have the first question?
There we go, girl. Start fire.
Oh, here we go, Menders. Let's go.
So my first question is, who came up with the surfer gimmick, and how much did you hate that wetsuit?
Well, I had so I'm literally like less than like a couple months into my career. Like I started in March. By June, I had my first match, and then so Jerry Lawler called Joel Goodhart, the promoter of Tri-State Wrestling Alliance back in the day before it turned into Extreme or Eastern and then Extreme. And Lawler said he wanted a couple gimmicks. So I needed more of a gimmick. He didn't just want to come down there as a guy. So I'm the Sandman. I figure, get a surfboard and get down there as a gimmick. Next thing you know, I'm working on top with Lawler. I was there for probably like 3 or 4 months. After the first month, I was working on top with Lawler, so he liked me.
There you go. Well, that's important.
Well, they went under soon after that, though. Within So I had a lot to do with killing the USWA, putting me on top with Lawler back in them days.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Really?
So
what's Reb got going?
yeah,
gonna
Reb,
say-
what do you got up?
I did a little homework. I've been listening to a lot of your own podcast that you did with your boys, and some things that came up that I didn't know. I didn't know that Todd Gordon was actually responsible for your current character, like getting rid of the wetsuit, going just to be
the
more
first,
yourself.
well, I came the first night. So I come back from like it's right around January. I don't know what the frick year it was, maybe 91 or something. Whenever Paul got there, and Paul took one look at it, he goes, "We're going to break that surfboard over your head tonight." I was like, "Great," because I wanted to get rid of it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad it went bye-bye.
Yes. Yeah. So let's
process.
So let's throw on the Zubas and let you go out there and drink the beer
Just
and smoke
be
the
me.
cigarettes.
That's
Yeah.
how I showed up to the arena, dude. I never had to get changed or anything, dude. I showed up and that's how I just was. It was great. It was the greatest gimmick ever.
Yeah, you actually said one of my favorite documentaries is the Forever Hardcore documentary that Jeremy Borash produced. And you actually, you said in that documentary that there was a discussion backstage of like, the surfer gimmick's not getting over. So let's just go let him be Hack. And when did you realize that it clicked? Like, was it a slow burn?
Yeah, Paul didn't love me as much as Todd did. You know what I'm saying? So Todd's like, listen, this is because Paul didn't love me. So Todd's like, listen, well, that ain't working. Let's let him go out there and be him. And then that's when it all clicked in with the cigarettes and the beer and everything. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a process doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got real lucky with getting the cane because of that kid Michael Fay in Thailand. Getting his 6 lashes or 6 or 8 lashes or whatever. And Paul got the idea to give me the cane. So, and then just all happened in like a 2-year time. Didn't all happen at once.
Didn't he just pull a branch off of a tree and?
Yeah, literally, we're standing under a tree, pulled a branch, picked all the little twigs off, and said, "Put some tape on it." I'd love to find that promo. I would love. I bet you I can ask Rod or Charlie next time I see him. I want to see that promo.
Yeah, that was probably really the first time that it clicked was the whole Tommy Dreamer, thank you, sir, may I have another? Like, I mean,
Dreamer.
Yeah, Dreamer.
Thank you, sir, because I gave him when I was caning him the 10 times. That's a rugby saying. So
yeah.
I used to, when I was playing rugby, I said I wanted to use it in there. But Tommy Dreamer I was hooking my wife, I was hooking Peaches out to him, and he wasn't paying his bills. So instead of being a heel like I'm supposed to, but in Philadelphia, it's just the opposite. The more I would hook her out to people, and then I would beat him up because he wouldn't pay his bill for my wife. So we were doing that, and that was even getting me over, trying to be a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? It's like weird.
Yeah, and then the whole blinding angle, which I think that like people tend to forget about. Like that was really one of the first times majorly that kayfabe was broken, and like here's everyone backstage really kind of like are like, oh my God, Sandman's really hurt. Here's good guys, bad guys. And is it true that you did not leave your house? Like you sold it? Like
you have to understand, not everybody had a computer in their pockets back then.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean? It's very early in my career. You know what I mean? So Paul, he puts me over like, oh, he didn't leave his house for like a month or stuff. But it's not like it is now. You know what I mean? You do anything, anytime, anywhere, people know, It was different back then, so it was easier to kayfabe.
That actually goes into one of my questions I had for you, Sandman. Do you think that social media today is more of a hindrance, or is it more of a help for the wrestlers today?
It's just different now. It's kind of like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like back in the day, like matches used to be the way matches are. And now how many guys think that every match is like AEW, there are 8,000 spots to nowhere, right? So everybody, it's like, all right, well, look at the match that they had, the tag match that Cena and Cody that they just had the tag match. That was an old school match, dude. That was like right out of like Florida. or Texas or something like that. And it was a nice breath of fresh air to me. I mean, it was slow, you know what I mean? And I mean the heat on. I mean, how long can you have heat on Uso? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It seemed like it lasted like a half hour on him, but things are just different now. So the media is the media, and it's an evolutionary thing. You know what I mean? So.
We're definitely an old school crowd here. I know Reb and I are. We're definitely old school. Dickie, I think you are too.
I'm kind of in the middle.
My son has to get me on these Zooms. I don't know how to do it. I don't. You ask your producer. He was talking to my son, not to me getting on this thing.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to get you on here. Yeah, it definitely seems like I think that wrestling is cyclical in a way. Like it definitely seems like what's old is new again. And I have said it about the Cena Cody match at Mania. That match felt very territory-esque. And it was just very simple heat from Cena, simple shine from Cody, stuff like that. And I think that we're starting to see kind of a comeback and of what's old is new again.
Well, especially when literally everybody in the match is so over. You don't have to do anything for one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at the talent. Look at the top that company, the talent that's in that company right now. You know what I mean? Anybody that goes out there is going to be over huge. It's just the way it is. You know, it's crazy, but there's so many guys that are so over in that company right now.
Yeah, it really is a boom period.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, compared to, it just makes no sense why now people love WWE, but people can't watch AEW. I don't get it. And their ratings aren't getting any better. WWE's, they're like a flat 5 million, I think, something around there.
Do you think tribalism is killing pro wrestling?
Wow, you mean, dude, as in there's in 10 years there'll be a company that's just Samoans?
Well,
I will like that.
I love it,
dude. I always thought that there's so many of them, they could literally have their own company.
I would be for it. No, I mean, there's definitely there's it doesn't seem like there can be any middle ground, man. It's either you like one or you like the other. Why can we not like both? You know,
I don't know. It's hard to. I don't understand what AEW's. It's like, okay, so WWE ends up buying whatever, the AAA or whatever.
AAA, yeah.
Okay, and now all of a sudden it's like they're going to AEW's going to Mexico. It's like they. It seems like every match there's Mexican guys in it. I don't understand. It's like, all right, so are they fighting against WWE over Mexican talent right now?
I haven't even decided what they're fighting over.
How many Mexican 6-man tag matches there are now?
Yeah, that does seem like to be maybe that's the territory that they're all fighting over, of maybe they can find the next top star from the Mexican territory, you know? I mean, maybe that's where they've chosen to fight their battles. It's hard to say.
They got those 4-hour shows. I'm like, oh my God, dude, these 4-hour shows. And there's so many 6-man matches.
On Wednesdays. It's not even on the weekend. It's on Wednesdays. They're dumb.
I got a job to wake up for in the morning. Are you kidding me? I can't sit and watch 4 or 5 hours of wrestling.
I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to make money. I mean, the dad's so big. I mean, when you make that much money, you need write-offs.
Yeah,
that's true.
Could be.
I can't imagine them making money. Do they make money?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're making it hand over fist. I mean, you look at the WWE now, you look at all the sponsors that are on the mat, and you never saw that back in the day.
Now,
and that's another thing.
On the ladder.
Now, I saw a meme the other day. I saw a meme the other day that it was Triple H with someone put patches for sponsors all over his suit, and it's like, this is probably going to be him at the next.
Somebody should get a tattoo of Nike or something. You know what I'm saying? To get paid by Nike with a tattoo.
There you go.
Idea.
Yeah,
I agree.
The sponsorships they have, it says TKO written all over it. If you look at UFC shows, they've always got the sponsors all over the mat there also. But I want to get back in. Dickie had his fanboy moment before we went live with you. I want to share mine. I think my favorite moment in the whole time I watched ECW was the night you came back in '99 to the ECW arena. I don't think I ever on a television I never heard a crowd as loud as it was when you came back. So just can you talk a little bit about
Nobody knew. Nobody in the locker room knew. Until like 5 minutes before I appeared up on top of whatever that thing was or whatever. But we kayfabed everybody. Nobody in the locker room even knew what was happening.
How hard was it to keep kayfabe alive when you had your?
Easy. I had a big van, so I just sat out in my van. I was watching TV. It was it was one of those with a bed in the back. There was captain's chairs. There was 4 of them. Little TV.
It's the most 90s thing I've ever heard. That's the most 90s description.
Yeah, dude, we all used to travel in the Sandman van. That's what we used to call it.
Sandman van. I love it.
We get like 6, 7 wrestlers in there. We'd all roll up the shows together.
Now, who all used to travel with you? I mean, I know Fonzie used to.
At certain times, it's different because you're coming in and out of the company. You know what I mean? But a lot of times it was me, Fonzie, Todd, Scorpio, Nancy. Picking up everybody up at the airport Sunday because we were flying into Philly a lot back then because we were still a little bit more regional, and then going to New York, going to Allentown, going to Jim Thorpe, stuff like that from our base there. So everybody would fly in and then we'd all meet at the airport and then we'd roll from there.
So it's kind of like how Sabu with the Winnebago from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love the story you told about the first time you rode in the Winnebago with Sabu when you had your beer.
Oh, when I spilled the beer, I spilled beer. The can, it was none were opened or anything, but it was cans and ice in this thing. And oh my God, you should have seen the look on freaking Sabu and Fonzie's face. It was priceless. Oh my God, it was so very first day.
We've had Fonzie on our Jumping the Rails show a couple times.
Fonzie's so
we've had so much fun with him.
Great interview. Yeah. I mean, you got to realize that that guy's the matches that he's actually refereed in his life are like some of the biggest matches ever that have ever happened. Fonzie was the third guy in the ring. You know what I mean? So he knows everybody from years and years and years. I mean, he was rolling in the territories in the early 80s with all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin Sullivan and Dusty. He knew them all.
Yeah.
They all loved him,
wow.
dude. They all loved him. Never heard anybody say a bad word about that guy ever.
No.
Yeah, I've not had a chance to be on with Reb and Menders when they've talked to him, but I mean, even just in passing, you always hear the stories about how good of a guy he is. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So one thing, this is completely, as my brother would say, this is completely shithouse luck that we have gotten on this day specifically because Sandman, you may not even realize it. You might. I know Reb. Okay, well,
just tell him, Dickie.
Here's the super fan Dickie coming forward here. 30 years ago today is the anniversary of the barbed wire match that you had with Cactus Jack at the ECW arena. It just so happened that today is the day 30 years ago that you had that match. Do you have any memories from that day or?
Oh yeah. Me and Cactus, I didn't really like him. He didn't really like me. At this point, I don't know if there's a dislike or whatever, but but it was so easy to work with him in the ring, dude. He was so easy. Just what a professional the guy was, so. And he told me a lot.
This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you, too. Yeah, come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom Energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/MadBash Studios. If you head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios, you are helping fund the definition of independent. Hundreds of hours of content starting at just $5 a month. You are going to get early, ad-free access to everything that MadBash Studios has to offer, on top of exclusive shows starting at just $5 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a month. You can go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios and you can support the dream of being unapologetically creative. Like another big angle that kind of involved him in a weird way, you don't really hear a lot of people talk about this, and I think it's one of the greatest moments in early ECW history. The return of the Funker, when you did the box trick and Funk came out of the box, and that was really something special.
Dude, I set that whole thing up. I got the I was the one that got the red, white, and blue pants for me and Terry. And obviously the trash can was right there. I went to this Joanne fabric store, which I think just went bankruptcy in the last couple months. Yeah, that's funny. You know that. And I had to get like I don't know. It was black. It was on a bolt. You know what I mean? And I got like 9-10 feet of it or whatever. And then DC Drake was in there too with Funk.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls out DC Drake first, and then they think, oh, that's the big surprise. You know what I mean? And then later on, and then Funk comes out. But if you watch that again, it's all hard cam. It's a lot of hard camera back then. It's not like, oh my God, like you can almost throw up. They changed so many camera angles during the WWE, like pay-per-view or Monday night. I mean, it's like 8,000 camera shots in like a 10-minute match. It's like crazy. But then you just watch Funk, and then because they think it's me because it's the red, white, and blue pants, and he pulls the Cactus pulls the thing off of him, and as Terry turns to the audience, everybody's starting to realize who it is. And watch the audience instead of watching like what's going on in the ring. You see the people go crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, there was
once because the people behind them didn't know who it was.
Yeah, there was no jumbotron to show what was going on.
Yeah,
it was very, very low budget, for lack of a better term. Or organic is a very good way to put it. Yeah, that had to be a pinch me moment of you're just standing in the ring dressed exactly like Terry Funk and just kind of looking around like, what is my life right now? That had to be just a great moment.
I was in 7th grade reading wrestling magazines about Terry Funk. I'd never seen him before. You know, when I was a kid, dude, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. The time I was in 7th grade, I was getting all the magazines, Inside Wrestling and stuff like all the ones that Bill Apter wrote every article in. You guys probably never even on sale. Have you guys old enough to ever seen a wrestling magazine on sale at like a store, like a bookstore?
Yeah, I'm a little bit younger than Reb and Menders. I kind of like came in towards the tail end of like PWI and all that stuff. So yeah, like I remember like getting the ECW magazine, like whenever that was shortly being around, and like all the PWIs and stuff like that.
We're 80s babies.
Yeah.
So Dickie, Madrox did send in a couple questions.
Yes, he's here in spirit.
Yeah, he asked. He says, "Ask what the ugliest belt he ever held was." Is the first question.
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
I don't think he remembers what belts he's held.
Yeah. But dude, honestly, I can tell you what the original ECW looks like with the eagle on it.
Oh, it's one of the best.
See that, but all the rest of them are just a blur. And maybe the spinner belt from freaking the spinner belt that what's the name at? That was different. You know what I mean? I can remember that.
Ugh.
He also wants to know why you look so much like Raven's therapist.
Why? Have you seen his therapist?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Therapists are great. I need one right now. Everybody could use a therapist. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of staying in your head so much, you got to get it out to somebody.
100%. I actually see one every week, and it's one of the best decisions I ever made. One of the best decisions. So one thing I've always been very curious about. So the revival of ECW in 06, did anybody have like high hopes that it was going to be anything? Or in the head shake tells me everything I need to know. That doesn't even need the second part of this question.
No,
because
it's like when you get there, it's like how long you don't know. You know it had a born date and it had a dead date, and you knew it wasn't too far apart.
Yeah, because the second part of the question was if people were hopeful, like when was the moment that you knew, like, yeah, this isn't going to be anything?
I never expected it to go anywhere. Not one fiber of my being ever expected that.
Yeah, I mean, especially on the first one, they got you coming out Kane and a zombie. So
that was going to be my question, Dickie.
Dude.
Dang it! I was going to ask how much fun was it to not that ECW.
I thought I was being ribbed because I forgot it was the very first night of Sci-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that then until I don't know, one of those producer dudes comes to get me, and they like. And there was an alien there in a bright green like costume, this little small like alien dude like you've seen in any movie or something like that. And then Timmy was there, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, are you like ribbing me? This is what you want me to do?" And then I'm like, "Sure, I'm getting ribbed." And then Dream was like, "Yo, Hack, it's the first Sci-Fi episode." And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got it." I said, "All right," because I knew Timmy and I wanted to get him to work. You know what I mean? So obviously I picked Timmy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was goofy, but I loved it because right then I understood that they know that they're not looking at me as a match person. They're looking at me as a part of a segment part. You know what I mean?
And
I go out and cane somebody.
And
you know what I mean? That's why I was like, oh yeah, this is a good spot to be in.
Yeah,
it's a great spot.
Or have to wrestle at all.
Yeah,
just go out, beat someone with a cane, and get that paycheck. You know, you made a career out of it.
Still am.
Still am. Yeah,
crazy.
Still am.
Dude, I've been so busy this year. I probably coming up into June. I've probably worked like at least 3/4 of the weekends.
That's awesome.
Reb and I
actually, right now.
I say Reb and I actually saw you. Was it last year, Reb, that you were at Squared Circle Expo in Indianapolis? With
they all run together.
Yeah, well, you were there with it was Nova and Francine,
Rhino.
Franny's a frequent traveler with me.
Yep, and Douglas, Shane, and Blue. Was it Blue Meanie?
Did Shane Douglas talk the whole time?
Of course he did. Isn't that what he does the best?
So, I want to something I found out today. I didn't realize DDP had a big hand in getting you into WCW.
Yeah, so I was in Atlanta, and him and Raven were friends, and it was DDP's party at some big club. So we went, and me and DDP got along really well. In fact, his wife got pissed that he was spending so much time talking to me. So whatever. But he said to me that night, he goes, "Dude, if you ever need a job, just get a hold of me." And I told him, I said, "No, dude, I'm never leaving ECW. I didn't really want to go anywhere else. I would have liked to have been that guy that could have been in the same company the whole time and never have been in another company, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like had the same wrestling name your whole career. How many people do that? That's why I was pissed.
One. Two.
I'm sure if we sit and think about it, we could probably pick a couple.
Yeah. Well, Undertaker and Flair are the first two, or Undertaker and Sting are the first two that come to my mind.
Taker doesn't count. Mean Mark Callis. Are you forgetting about Mean Mark Callis? Come on.
When he became popular, though, he was already the Undertaker.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, though. It's just if you could go, is there anybody that had one name their whole career? Unless it was a guy who was his real name, maybe back in like the 40s, 50s or something. Maybe.
I mean, even Cena on the Indies was the prototype, so you can't even count him.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was long before he was well known. Long before he was well known.
The only guy I can think of is Dreamer. Is the closest I can think of. Everywhere I've seen Tommy Dreamer, he's been Tommy Dreamer.
Wow. So close to me, I didn't even think of him. That's crazy. No, he had to have another name.
I don't know.
I'm on it. You guys talk
Mindy,
I'm on it.
hit the Wikipedia and let's get to the bottom of this.
Listen, Wikipedia is useless, dude. They have my birthday as June 16th. It's June 19th. People always text me on the 16th for the last couple of days. It's not even my birthday yet, but Guido texted me today, happy birthday. I'm like,
that might be
Guido.
Okay, can I just say right now, this is the greatest moment of my podcasting career. Hearing Sandman say Guido texted me happy birthday on the wrong day. I just peaked. That was so great, man. That was so great.
Oh, Tommy did have another name.
Oh, okay.
According to
the
Wikipedia.
Italian stud.
No. T.D. Madison.
Wow.
That was probably for a brief moment.
That's a deep cut, Menders. That's a very deep cut.
Wait, does it say who was he working for? Like Tommy Fierro then, or something? Who was like he working for in New York? What? I know him and Guido. I think maybe him and Guido used to work for Fierro. I don't know.
Corluzzo, would it be?
I don't know. I doubt it with Carluzzo and Dreamer.
He was in International World Class Championship Wrestling under the name T.D. Madison. Where
how many matches did they have?
Looks like
cup
5,
of coffee.
Maybe.
All right.
Say.
Okay.
He
all right, so I'm glad he had 2 now. He hasn't beat me in that.
He changed his name to Tommy Dreamer, reportedly after taking his given first name and adding Dreamer in tribute to Dusty Rhodes in '92 while working in New England.
Dude, have you ever seen a guy rip off more freaking legends? Dude, he'll come out with the polka dot pants and then he'll have Funk's freaking bandana on, and he'll be carrying a cane with him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Tommy.
He stole Raven's pose. He stole Raven's pose.
What were you saying, Reb?
He'd also have the shopping cart full of weapons like New Jack every now and then. So.
Oh, wow. I never put all that together, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, but we did that before New Jack. We actually took a beer ball. If you guys, there's a picture of me, him, and his wife and Beulah coming through the locker. And we used to do these things were beer balls. It was a ball that carried like fucking 7 gallons of beer in it or something like that. Back in the day, they used to sell these things. So that's the only reason why I remember we brought a shop with one time me and him brought a shopping cart together before New Jack was even in the company.
Wow.
So he didn't rip that off from New Jack.
I'm just curious. Okay. How many beers could you fit in your pants pockets? I figure at least
the 1 pair of pants that I had, it was like back in the day, those parachute pants that were made out of like nylon.
Those Zubas, man.
Everywhere. I could carry literally like 9 beers.
Oh, wow.
You know, they had those cargo pants on each side. You could carry 4 just right there. And then you get 2 more in your back pocket. There you're at 6 right there. And then you got your front pockets, 1 each, and then 1 in your hand.
There you go.
There's your 9.
All right, Menders is making me ask this question. So we.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, put the heat on somebody else.
Put the heat on Menders. That's what I do. But we do a watch along podcast. Also, we're doing all the ECW on TNN episodes, and Guido has come up.
Oh, the what episodes?
All the TNN episodes. But so anyway, we see a lot of Guido on here, and it's just occurred to us that his feet were freaking huge, and. We
imagine how long his other crap was.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I mean, come on, you guys. You held up a hoop. I got to jump through that.
That's true. Low-hanging fruit, right, Hack? Low-hanging fruit.
You know what, though? Why is it every time we ask that question, all the ECW guys that we've asked that question to, it's all
same reason that day. I got small hands and small feet for a reason.
Well, that question always ends up going to somebody's package that somebody saw in the back. It's ridiculous.
I think Angel has won the prize so far, though.
Yeah, Angel has won the prize so far from the Baldies. So
What's the
he's-
prize at this point? My lord.
He's
That's
got
a
the best
man's
one so
thing.
far.
He's got the biggest.
What do you get? A congratulations and a handshake on that one, Menders?
Yep.
What are you talking?
And a tub of M&Ms. That's
A
what.
tub. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I think that we would be remiss if we not mention, Sabu, tragic story, terrible. Ironically, one of my first ECW pay-per-views that I ever saw was November to Remember 97, where you guys had the tables and ladders match.
Was it in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Reb, fact check me on that one. Okay.
Yeah, I was pissed because they threw some tables that weren't new, and they threw them under the ring, and we didn't. And we pulled out a couple of ones who were the shits,
Yeah.
but we just went with them anyway.
But yeah, that to this day remains one of my favorite matches of yours. What was it like going into those matches with Sabu? Because I mean, like you both had not necessarily conflicting styles, but they complemented each other. Like I often make the joke, and I say it with all the love in the world, that you are the king of maximum effort for the craziest spots, like grabbing the ladder, vaulting yourself over the top rope, throwing the ladder. Like what thought process, or should I say how many beers, went into the decision that this is what I'm going to do?
I don't know, dude. It's just if you're an athlete, you're an athlete. Some of those things just happen, and it's off the cuff. It's not a call. Like the time I leaped the top rope, didn't touch anything, leaped the top rope, cane cactus on the head, landed on my feet, and then just went like this.
Yeah.
Back in the day, a lot of people weren't doing. Now people were doing triple indies and landed on their feet out there. But
yeah,
you know what I mean, back then people weren't doing that stuff, and I don't know. It just happens. But working with Sabu was different, a lot different than working with almost everybody else, because you had to call. You called a lot more when you were in a match with Tommy Dreamer or Raven, and you're out there. Dude, you're out there with Nova, Meanie, my wife, my kid and stuff. You're talking way, way more. Sabu, you don't have to talk, because it's like if he's going for a table, I know he's going for a table. He's not going to say, yo, dude, I'm going to go grab this table. I can see that plainly, you know what I mean? So we have spots set up that we know, and we know what order the spots are going to happen. So we really don't have to talk about the, because if I shoot you in there and I got my arm up, you're taking a clothesline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was easy with him like that. You really didn't have to talk like much at all. I talked more than Fonzie in the match than I would with freaking Sabu.
I would believe that. I would believe that
all the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure with matches like that. And I'm sure with matches like that, it's just like, hey, we got some ladders, we got some tables, let's go beat the shit out of each other. Let's go have fun.
That was fun doing that stuff, dude. I didn't want to be a tackle, drop down, hip toss, arm drag thing. That didn't interest me.
Yeah.
I think the craziest bump I ever saw you take was in I think it was the tag match, you and Funk against Cactus and Douglas, when Cactus laid you out on a table, then he just flipped the table over to the floor.
I broke my neck.
Yeah.
I cracked that was my spot, and it was my fault, because I told him I wanted to do that spot. He goes, "You sure you want to do this?" I said, "Yeah." But so when I'm laying against the table, my hands are the only thing holding me. So when he picks up the bottom and I wanted him to push my feet a little bit more to get my feet over my head, but I let go of the table too early with my hands, and I slipped down and landed right on top of my head, and I broke my C4. And wrestled through it. Didn't even know I broke it until a couple of years later in Florida when they were giving me an MRI. They thought my neck was broken. I said, that didn't happen tonight. That happened a couple of years ago. Didn't even know it.
Oh, wow.
I got back by the chiropractor the next morning. Sunday morning, I had him come in to crack me.
Oh, wow.
So you were talking about how much.
Broke my C4 in half. Ooh. And wrestled through it. Wrestled the next weekend and just kept wrestling.
That's crazy.
That's insane. I should have been in one of those halos that Gary was in. That halo was real, dude. That thing was screwed into his head in like the 4 places. That was real. Now, when Shane grabbed it later on, it had already taken off and he had been healed. So then it was
Okay.
just gimmicks on there for when they did that spot.
But he
And that
actually
looked
did
great.
the hail
That
before
got
that.
Shane. Wow, that got Shane probably the most heat he ever did, anything else he ever did in that building.
Well, listen, I was disappointed because you're speaking of that one, and I went back and was watching some ECW. They don't even show the crucifixion on Peacock. I was so mad.
It makes no sense. How come it can
left-
happen
they
in a
left-
movie?
they
It's
left-
entertainment.
They
We're
left
in the
Kurt Angle on
entertainment
there.
business. If you could do it in a movie, why can't you do it in a wrestling match?
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense to me.
They left Kurt Angle on that with his terrible commentary of the first match.
Dude, so wait
I
a
was
minute.
just
You
like,
couldn't have made the Passions of Christ the movie if you think about it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's fine to do it there, but you can't do it in in front of 1,000 people in a building in Philadelphia?
And tell a better
It
story.
makes it's never made any sense to me.
And tell a good story.
So what was that conversation when Raven had to go out and apologize? Did they just
We
and
were
you
all
just
in a
said
circle, and I disagreed vehemently. I told them all they were assholes. And then,
okay? That's kind of the answer.
Raven even went out there and did it.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was pissed.
And he
Like,
did it that night, right?
You dude, you don't. Yeah, he did it right after that. Dude, we don't apologize for shit. What the fuck is going on here? But it was only because Kurt Angle was there the very first night he was there.
That was my next question. That was my next question of it. Had Kurt Angle not been there, do you think the apology wouldn't have been forced?
It wouldn't have happened at all.
Yeah.
It would not have happened at all. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's one of the most
Paul knew what
iconic
was
images.
going on. Paul standing there going to Kurt, I had no idea they were going to do this.
Okay, so now I think, Reb Menders, this is the time where I do my infamous Paulie voice that I always do.
Yes, please do.
Okay, Hack, Scotty, you got to go out there and apologize. is that about how it sounded?
No, I was like, I ain't no shit, dude. You crazy. No way. No freaking way, dude.
So was there anybody on the ECW roster that you dreaded when you saw your name next to him, that you dreaded seeing your name next to him? No?
No, absolutely not. Unless it was Taz. But Paul knew not to put me together. Well, it made no sense putting me and Taz in a match against each other. You know what I mean? That makes no sense for one. And for two, Paul knew how a couple of us, like me, Van Dam, Sabu, how a bunch of us felt about him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But I did go out with him the day. I'm living in Salt Lake City. I went out there to start a construction business because the Olympics were starting out there. It was 96 when I went out there.
Mm-hmm.
Started a great concrete company. So I hurt my knee when I was in a tag match like that summer, and I hurt my knee, and it was the only time they said "you fucked up" chant to me. So and I remember that there was a couple "you fucked up" chants. So I got the surgery. It was like arthroscopic, where they just put the 3 holes in there back in the day. No, they didn't like cut you up the knee or anything. And so I had my surgery early there because I was ahead in time. Flew back to Philly with my daughter because my daughter wanted to come back there for something because all our relatives were there. And I let Taz choke me out that night in the Lulu Temple in Conshohocken, and not too far from the arena actually. So I think that was the only time I was ever in a match was with him, and I was out there with like this long kind of like. It's like got the Velcro straps, your whole, it's from your ankle all the way up to your hip. And he just choked me out. And I remember, and I think he beat up Fonzie too. And I just remember we've watched it later on tape, and me and him are just lay with each other. I'm supposed to be choked out because he chokes me out. You know what I mean? But probably chokes Todd out too. And we're just laying there cracking up, laughing at each other. And we're like, what the fuck are we doing in here?
Was there a lot of those moments where it's like just trying to make each other break and like, what the fuck are we even doing? Like, we're just like, doing little jokes and stuff.
All the time. Like with Raven, you play that circle game. You know what the circle game is? You get him to look at it, you punch him. Or punch buggy, you know what that one is? When you're in a car and you see a Volkswagen. You're always trying to pop somebody doing something. You're together a lot of a lot of time and a lot on the road and hotels and all that shit. You know what I mean? You entertain yourself by screwing with everybody. Everybody screws with everybody. You know what I mean? Because if you're not laughing, you're going to be crying.
Yeah.
You're going to be missing your kids or whatever, missing whatever you are.
So are there any on the road stories that you can't tell? Because we've had a lot of stories. People told us
only the good ones are the ones you can't tell. God, there's a million of them.
We've had a lot of good ones.
So,
we've heard a lot of good ones.
So we got a couple more minutes here, Sandman. We really appreciate you making the time for us. But I wanted to ask you about the podcast. You do it with Brian Tosh and your boys.
Yeah, my sons. Ty, the one was in the angle with Raven, and one of my other younger sons, Oliver.
Yeah,
he doesn't know nothing about my wrestling. He missed all the wrestling.
Oh wow!
Because he's like 26. So he doesn't know like any of the ECW stuff or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that podcast drops on what day is it?
Dude, I'm so bad at plugging my own shit. I mean, can you guys plug it for me, please?
Plug it for him, Rob. Plug it for him.
It looks like the latest episode.
Dude, I'm so bad at this.
I
am.
fine.
It's like fine. I know, but doesn't everybody say just look for it on your podcast and the avenues that you get?
Yep.
I don't know. It's probably like the real ECW Sandman or ECW Sandman or something like
Sandman. It's the Sandman podcast on like Apple Podcast and Spotify. It looks like.
I don't know. There's like 4 or 5 of them, but
we have a friend that we know in wrestling. His name's Clayton Clark, and every time he's on my podcast, he'll plug his social media, and he gives a different name every time. And I got to tell him after, I'm like, Clayton, that's not what your social media is, brother.
Yeah, but has there anybody ever come on and been like, I don't know where you can find me?
No, I think this is the first. This is the first.
I know. I did the same thing. I was on Busted Open Radio, and Bubba asked me to push it. I'm like, I don't know where you go.
No, this is not the first time that people did not know where they were at.
Good. I don't feel like such a moron then.
Well, Sam, man, we're gonna have to have you back on sometime because we have to scratch the surface with you.
Anytime, you guys are cool. I can't wait. Maybe next time you have the one-legged dude in.
Yeah,
he would love to be here. He would love to be here. He's as big of a fan of you as I am, and you're a constant topic on our podcast. We talk about you quite frequently. I have my graded Sandman trading card here that's always here, and I got my hardcore hack figure that I have in my studio. So,
dude, that's what helps to keep me booked, dude. I've sold like a couple thousand of those cards in like the last I don't know, in the last year.
Yeah,
70 boxes of the things and sign them, and that keeps you live. And then having me on last year's game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That helps too. You know,
for sure.
Because it's crazy how and just the Peacock or where you can watch so many matches of mine. Like you have these like 12-year-old kids come up to you and they're like, "Oh my God, you're my favorite wrestler ever." I'm like, yeah, you watch a lot of Peacock, don't you? Like, oh,
yeah, I've said it. You are steadily in my top 5 of all time, and it has been an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you.
Thank God for that Peacock, dude.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know who we were now. You know what I mean? You know, Peacock's great.
Well, that's kind of the reason we went back and started doing our Extreme F and review. Because, like, right now, we're actually getting ready to go into Hardcore Heaven. Is that the one we're doing? Yeah, we're getting ready to do Hardcore Heaven from 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing something this week. My son was just up here. I should have asked him what we were doing this week. That'd be funny if we were doing the same show.
All right.
Hey, there you go.
Sandman, thank you so much for being on.
I don't know.
Thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate it.
Yes, this was a pleasure.
We'll get back in touch. We'll get you on again.
Thank you guys. Peace.